Hello, everybody. So the 2023 Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend is now officially over. I missed it already. However, I did post a thing on my Instagram saying if anyone had any questions about the race weekends or Run Disney in general, to let me know, and I would go through and answer some questions today. I'm also taking some of the questions that I got in other things like Facebook and YouTube, etc., as well to answer your questions. So, first question. The first question comes from JCotcher83, who wants to know how many steps so far today. Well, the amount of steps that I actually ended up doing throughout the entire marathon day was 68,628 steps. So I barely beat my 15,000 step goal for the day. That ended up being about 34.6 miles that I walked or ran yesterday. Our next question comes from Zach Nels, who says, do you have to sign up for all the races during the weekend, or can you just do certain ones? You can do one race, two races, three races, or four if it's marathon weekend. So there are different challenges during the weekends that you can do. I did the Dopey challenge this weekend, which consists of all four races. However, there's also a Goofy challenge, which is just the half and the full. And then you can also just do the 5K, or just do the 10K, or just do the half, or just do the marathon. It's your choice. The next question that I got a lot was, did you fall at the end of the marathon? I did not fall. I actually jumped across the finish line. Here's a side-by-side of that clip along with me doing the actual picture of me jumping through the finish line. Our next question comes from Happy Guest Julie, who wants to know, how often does Run Disney have attractions open during the races? During the fall, you can usually find Expedition Everest along with the other attractions open at Disney's Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, mainly due to the fact that the parks are typically open by the time most of the runners are passing through. So that is actually open for regular guests, along with, if you want to take the risk, Run Disney racers as well. However, during the half marathon, they did have the Mad Tea Party and Dumbo open over at Magic Kingdom. That was the first time I've ever seen that during a half marathon. Our next question was asked by many people, which was, what are the time limits for the races? Well, the time limit is 16 minutes per mile. However, the trick of that is it goes off of when the last person crosses the starting line. So if the last person crosses the starting line 20 minutes after you, you actually have a 16-minute per mile pace plus that 20 extra minutes. So you have a little bit of a buffer zone. Going off of that, Jamie678 wants to know, what are the balloon ladies and why are people afraid of them? LOL. So the balloon ladies are the last people to actually start the race. So if you fall behind them, you're falling behind the pace, and that means you actually might get swept from the course and not be able to finish the race. This was the first time that we actually had an encounter with the balloon ladies, mainly due to the fact that we stopped for so many characters along the 10K course that we almost got swept ourselves, but luckily we got ahead of them at the last minute. So our next question comes from DZNY fan, I know that stands for Disney fan, 75, who wants to know, do you know approximately how many people run each race? So we don't know the official amount of people for each specific race. However, we do know how many people finish the 10K, half, and full. For the 10K this time, it was 11,871 people. For the half, it was 15,343. And for the full, it was 12,690. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how many people started the race, but that is how many people finished. And then if I had to guess, I would say for the 5K, it was probably right around 10 to 12,000 people as well. The final question we're going to answer today is by Zach Nels, which is, what time do the races start? All the races usually start at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it goes at different times, but usually they start at 5 o'clock, mainly so they can clear out the park for the guests that are going to be coming into the parks later in the day. That's going to wrap up our questions for today. If you have any more questions, make sure you join us at 9:30 Eastern Time over on the Wednesday show here on my YouTube channel, where we'll be answering more questions and doing a full recap of the weekend. As always, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.